going on YouTube? This is Sam from TeamSamuraiX1 here, and this has to be one of the most highly requested deck profile ever since the release of Cotd Duelist. We've been working on this list for quite some time, and Hanko decided to showcase you guys this list, which he thinks is actually going to be pretty good for the upcoming meta. Definitely, you know, if the ban list comes out, you know, Hanko.
Yeah, definitely when Zoo and True Draco are gone, then this deck will have some potential in the metagame.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know what, guys, throughout the deck profile, we'll be explaining to you guys all the card choices and the reason why you play them. If you guys want to see more deck profiles, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, 500 plus likes for more deck profile. That'll be absolutely amazing. Alright guys, and I have a True Draco playmat still available. If you guys want to get your True Draco playmats, make sure you guys message me on my Facebook page. I do free shipping to Canada and USA. International shipping will cost extra. If you guys want to support the team, make sure you guys get your True Draco playmat today. So without further ado, I'll pass on the deck profile to Hanko Chow.
Hey everybody, it's Hanko Chow. I'm just going to help out Sam for a bit here and talk about the World Chalice deck that came out in Cotd Duelist. It's a really interesting deck because you turn normal monsters that they have into like link monsters. And what's so cool about link monsters is that you don't actually lose the dimensional barrier. So for once, you can actually play the game. Another cool thing about this deck is that it makes Agent of Creation Venus a really powerful monster because it just grants you 3 free cards called Mystical Shine Balls, and you turn those Shine Balls into World Chalice Dogs, Imduk, and then you get like a lot of more plays because you get to play the cards out of your hand faster. So I'm just going to talk about like how you play 3 Venuses, and you pay 500 life points each time. It's not once per turn, so that's what makes it really broken. A lot of the old cards are really broken. So yeah, Shine Balls 3, obviously. You don't really want to draw them, but I mean, even if you draw them, it's not terrible, but because you can just summon it from your hand. Imduk or even Link Spider, and then Imduk lets you have an additional normal summon for your World Chalice monsters in your hand. So that way, like what you summon Venus to summon Shine Ball, and it's almost like a Brilliant Fusion because you essentially get to play the cards out of your hand faster. And then obviously play another World Chalice monster, and you link this guy with the other World Chalice monster to make bigger plays, and then summon more Shine Balls. And just Venus is incredibly broken in this deck, and you want to always open up with it. So another broken card in this game right now is Gofu. Everyone is playing this card, and it's especially really good in this deck because you summon 2 dark tokens, which means that you can summon Ib a lot faster. It's just that having a lot of cards on the board is what makes this deck shine, because this deck loses a lot of cards to make cards, and then your Nigurusu will help you draw the cards back. So Gofu is incredibly powerful in this deck because it's a card that you play before your normal summon, Brilliant Fusion, but also be able to search out Lee, because Lee is a light monster, and while it's in the graveyard, you can pitch a card in your hand to search to add this card from the grave back to your hand. So, and then therefore you can normal summon it, and being able to search out this guy is really important because without this card, it's really hard for you to gain more World Chalice names onto the board. So one of the combos would be to either use this to search for this, or use this to search for this, and then searching for other cards. Yeah, another cool thing about this card is that it's a level 2 light fairy, which means that with a card called Transmodify, you can use Lee with Transmodify to search out Venus and then go off from there, and then Lee would have searched for your Legacy Chalice, and then you would have had a lot of cards to play with. So Transmodify is definitely really good in this deck because you can even Transmodify your regular Shine Balls into Venus, so that way you can get 2 more Shine Balls that way if you drew that way. Or the next card I was talking about was the World Legacy World Chalice. It's really important to tribute summon this card because if it leaves the field via you send it for link summoning, then you get to summon any 2 World Legacy or World Chalice monsters from your deck. So it can be the vanilla monster, or it can be the Guard Dragon next. This one is also you play it at 3. It's a hand trap that you can pitch to negate any card that targets a monster that is linked, and negate the activation and destroy it. So it's relatively useful, but its most useful effect is that it's a World Chalice monster, as well as being in the graveyard. You can banish this card to target a normal monster, any normal monster in your graveyard, and summon it into your board in defense mode into a place that is pointed at by your link monsters. So this card is a revival card. It's really interesting. So what you really want to do in this deck is to get out this card, which then either gets out this to this. It's just, you want to get these Trinity here. The normal monsters, which we play 3 of the Beacon, the World Chalice. He's the level 4 Earth Warrior monster with 1800 stat. So he's probably the most important one out of the other 2. I don't play the other 2, the level 3 guy or the level 2 guy, because you could play the level 3 guy because he can summon it with E-Telly, and that means you can play Ghost Ogre, but like, the level 4 guy is relatively more important in the Venus build because you want to put all your shine balls back with Daigusto Emerald, and there's a combo that is essentially making this into a rescue rabbit into this, so that way you can make Daigusto and shuffle these back and get more cards out of it. So that's why the level 4 is more important than the level 3 or 2. So, and not only that, but it's just a big stat of 1800, and you need to have attack points to win this game. Next, we just go to these little one-ofs, which obviously you play Maxi because it's probably one of those, broken card. Gemini Lazuli, because you can, if this is sent to the graveyard for a Brilliant, you can add a normal monster, which is kind of important. Probably better than the other Gemnites for this deck. And then one Fairy Tale Snow, just because once you go through the combo, you usually have a lot of light monsters, and if you draw this card, you can pitch it for Lee, or even like dump this with Brilliant Fusion if you already have Lee. So having a way to be defensive on your opponent's turn and being searchable by Brilliant Fusion is kind of important. So it's just like, why not? I'll play it. And that's probably all the monsters that you play. And well, Brilliant Fusion and Transmodify are essentially monsters. That's why I put it all there. And those are like the cards you want to see. And so now we go to the one-ofs like Raigeki, Blowout card, Foolish Barrel to search for Lee or Guard Dragon, or Snow as well. And Lazuli if you want, but you don't really want to do that. Soul Charge is broken. Upstart Goblin is just a filler card. Mind Control because you're playing a Link summoning deck, so you can take your opponent's monster and Link summon. Yeah, exactly. You can even play Enemy Controller if you want. If you want to side it or main it. This card, World Legacy Heart, is a pretty good one-of. I was contemplating on not playing this, but I essentially found out that, what's it called? This guy, the World Legacy World Chalice guy, if he's in the graveyard, you can banish him to either add another copy of himself or another World Legacy card, because he's a World Legacy as well. So being able to have like a follow-up, like this card creates a follow-up essentially, because you add the cards from your graveyard back to your hand, and not only that, but you can also put back like the Link monsters into your extra deck, and it also has an effect while it's in the graveyard to protect your Link monster if it were to be destroyed in battle. So that's, it's pretty good because it's Return of Dragon Lords. Exactly. Yeah. And so these are like the really good one-offs that are combo pieces essentially. Well, except for Upstart, it's just filler. Next we go to like these defensive cards that are just meta calls really, because like as long as Zoo is a thing, this card is really relevant. So I don't really want to play 3 in the main because you don't want to draw like multiples of this, but you do want to draw like at least one of these. And I think that Forbidden Chalice is a really good meta call in this right now because
and it's really good against Trickstars too.
That's what I was about to say. Yes, I was about to say it was really good against the Trickster OTK that could be running around, or it could be good against Unbreakable Crystal Wing, a Dryden on the board, or if they open up Demise and they have a Dynamite on the board, you could Chalice them and hopefully they don't have another trap or whatever. So Chalice is a pretty good card, like defensively and offensively. And that's really the main deck. Yeah, let's just go to these 5 cards. Like you can play like Twin Twister, you can play Cosmic Cyclone, you can really play anything if you want, depending on like the metagame that you're predicting, right?
Correct.
So these are just the 5 cards I chose.
Yes, and also like the deck profile is always up to personal preference on what you guys want to play, right? So this is a Hanko specific build. It is the version that works best for him. So if you guys have your own card or text and things like that, make sure you guys incorporate that into your own deck. Yeah. Just use this deck list as a sort of a guide to what you guys can play in your own deck.
Yes.
All right, so let's go out to the extra deck real quick.
Yeah, so the extra deck are all mostly blue cards, which are really, really good. So let's just go and start out with the Link 1 monsters, which is Imduk, the World Chalice Dragon. While it's on the board, you get an additional normal summon of a World Chalice monster, which means that you get to play cards from your hand faster, helps you tribute summon for the Legacy guy, and all of the World Chalice Link monsters have the effect, if they're sent from the field to the graveyard, that you get to special summon a World Chalice monster from your hand. So that means that you get to throw more cards out from your hand to the board, which is really important. So yeah, if you're playing a build that's more heavily focused on normal monsters, you can play Dark Factory of Mass Production to add them back to your hand and then throw them back out onto the board. And Dark Factory of Mass Production is not once per turn, so that's really good. So the other Link 1 monster that you play is Link Spider, because it is it's a deck filled with a lot of normal monsters, so you can play this, as well as it being just an Earth. So that way, if you go Gofu, you can summon 2 Dark tokens, and you use one of the Dark tokens to turn into an Earth monster, and then therefore you can turn the Dark and the Earth to Ib. Ib is really, really important in this deck, so that's why you play 3 copies of it, because it's let's say here, it's probably like, while it's on the board and it's being linked, it cannot be destroyed by battle or be targeted or be destroyed by card effects. So that's like a really amazing card because of how it can't be targeted by Dryden, it can't be targeted by your opponent's True Draco trap cards or
Masterpiece.
Yeah, it's a really good defensive card as well. While it's on the board, the 2 cards that are right beside it, left and right of it, can if they were to be destroyed by battle or let me see, destroyed by card effect, you can send Ib instead. So it helps protect your other cards that are boss monsters most likely. So yeah, and not only that, but it's probably the second most easiest to summon of the World Chalice monsters because you don't need to play normal monsters. You just have to have 2 monsters with different types and attributes. So that's pretty cool. This guy, how do you say him? Oram, the World Chalice Blade Master. I just call him Blade Master because it sounds cool. But he's a really, really important World Chalice monster because he is the guy that you really want to have in your extra monster zone, the first one, because of how his arrows point downwards. So he helps extend your plays. And not only that, but he is a beat stick. This one, Nigirisu, the World Chalice Warrior, is one of the cards that you really want to end up with because he helps you recuperate your losses. And while he's on the board, once per turn during your turn, you can send a card from either player's side of the field to the graveyard. So he's removal. He's kind of cool, but like he's powerful, but at the same time he's all right. So yeah, next we got Firewall Dragon, which is the most broken Link monster at the moment from Cotd the Duelist. He is a Pallades and an M7 during either player's turn, once while it's on the board, and he's relatively easy to summon, and being able to bring back cards to your hand or even bounce your opponent's cards to your hand is really good. And you want to summon him after you summon Nigirisu. You use Nigirisu to summon him, basically. Or to link 2 monsters or whatever. This other guy, a Topological Bomber Dragon, is something else you want to end up with after you summon, because if you have Brilliant Fusion and you dump the Fairy Tale Snow, then you can bring this guy out, and not only is it 3k and it's pretty strong, but during either player's turn you can summon Fairy Tale Snow. Summon Fairy Tale Snow to one of these zones, and then this will trigger to blow up the board. So that's like a really gimmicky combo, but I mean it could work and win games. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Next we have the Dagusto Emerald to shuffle back the Shine Balls, and the Gemini Seraphonite for the Brilliant Fusion engine. So overall, this deck is relatively really combo based. You usually end up with Firewall Dragon and maybe Bomber Dragon depending on your hand. But it's all very
combo based.
Yeah, combo based, and it's just very neat on how you can you summon Nigirisu. Like the whole point of this deck is to summon this guy to recuperate your losses.
Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching this deck profile. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. That'll be absolutely amazing, guys. If you have any own card choices and text and things like that, make sure you guys use the deck list as a guide to what you guys can play in your own deck. But so far, guys, it's the best list that we have to showcase to you. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. That'll be amazing. And this is Sam and Hanko signing out. Alright guys, peace.
Bye.